it's gonna come back to what's your blood type. If we all got old blood type, we the same people spiritually, because the spirit is in the blood.
Well, based on the marriage and intermarriage between the bloodlines, that's not going to be a good standard any longer. It's gonna expire, because you're gonna have A and B bloods being born to O blood parent, right? So
two O, you say two O have an A and B. That's happening.
Yeah. It used to be that when you cross certain blood types, the woman's body used to reject the fetus and she'd have a miscarriage. But they got drugs they giving the women now where they bypass this process.
Hey, well, whether people want to believe me or not, when they talking about the red hair kings that was in Utah, they talking about our peoples who put this red clay stuff in their head. They call it Bantu people, and they was in America, and they tied in with the Phoenicians as the same people. These people right here was in America too.
Well, you had people that looked similar, but they might not have been the same exact people. Remember, America had more diversified phenotypes than any other land. We had everything from chocolate dark to high yellow before 1492. People that could have passed for European that was full blood native. But that's a whole nother ball game. That ain't what we was. You throwing, yeah.
You know somebody over here look like her, don't you? She look like my little sister.
There's a lot of little girls in the hood.
These
look
are
like
Native
that.
Americans, man. These is Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they look like. They're gonna tell you Egypt. This is Egypt. We standing on right here. This is Kemet. Hey, but look here.
Go back to the very, very first picture out of the one I told you to save for last.
Yeah. I'm about to go back to that like this. Hold on. Probably go to the rest of this stuff. I got a couple more slides. Here you go, right here.
That's the next picture.
You got it, Rod?
It's the next picture, Elder.
Oh, it's the next one.
That one. Okay, now look at the picture. Can you blow it up, Elder? All right. You see the one standing there in the back got an afro?
Yeah.
Okay, now they didn't call it an afro. Scroll down to the right, because the hairstyle is named after this tribe.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now it's a close-up of a painting by Rudolph Steger titled. Scroll down a little bit past your picture, Elder.
Okay. As far as I can go.
No, I need to see the top a little better.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
The first there you go, right there. Deputation of Indians from the Chippewa tribes to the president of Upper Canada. Right now, when you get down, it's not an afro; it's a Chippewa. The hairstyle is called a Chippewa.
Fire.
Black Americans being victim of identity, history, and cultural theft by the Albions and their mulattoes naturally explain the urge to beautify themselves by combing out their hair. To the place where the Albions told them they all came from Africa. Hold on.
Hey, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It says Africa do not comb their hair. Africans do not comb their hair in that manner, except to mimic Black Americans, who amazingly wear themselves, subconsciously channeling their true ancestors in case of the Chippewa.
So now you know that the Afro chief is actually another name for Chippewa chief.
Fire. I need to write this down.
So the hairstyle was originally called a Chippewa, not an Afro.
Right.
Scroll back up to the pictures and let them see it again, Elder.
Because with Afro tied in with African, like they didn't come out with it to like the 70s, like the Afro.
That's why we're doing this, so that people will know that the Afro is not an African. The only Africans that wear the Afro is called the Fuzzy Wuzzy or the Hadendawa.
And they was over here.
They came from over here.
Yeah. The Mad Jays. I got them. I used to show them with shields and swords. They was called a Tamaran police. And it's some connection with John Hawk. I'm working on a series of. I'm about to really crack the codes on this though. I'm about to finish them off for once and for all on how they switched us around. I'm working on it right now. I'm telling you, it's some heavy duty stuff because I'm telling you, this was Tamaray. That's what the frown is covering up.
So the hairstyle they call it natural is the same as the Afro but shorter.
Right. Right. This was one too that you wanted that went with that for the other one, I think.
Mm-hmm. That was just a flyer. But remember, Afro is a Chippewa.
Yeah, that's fire. And then I looked up too. I looked it up too. They said that another tribe it wasn't called Afro. They call it the Kita or the Netter. The Netter, the God crown, like a God. It means translated to God crown. Mm-hmm. The Netter. So they didn't start calling it Afro until later. Now, what I want to show too is this right here, is a lot of people got like a lot of these hairstyles that they're on the land.
You was breaking up, Elder.
They doing this down in Florida now. Okay?
Remember I told you some of the dread styles
down in Florida right here.
Remember I told you some of the dread styles mimic the palm leaf?
Right.
And then I described it. This is what I was describing.
Right here? This right here.
Yeah.
Fire. And that's right here how the Chiefs used to wear their hair. Some of the Seminole Chiefs.
It depends on where they was from.
Yeah.
This is what they was having such a hard time trying to figure out, because you had different chiefs leading different assaults at different times, and they couldn't figure out because all of the chiefs had a different look.
Right.
Like these right here. Right. Then you had the ones with the afros. Then you had the pie-face ones, the ones that look like Mongolians. Right. Them styles none of these styles are new to us. We've been doing this stuff for thousands of years. That's why you see it in the paintings.
Yep. Same dang hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like, you got to know this dude never seen this picture. So like what? Like, is it like a DNA thing that make us want to go like stay with? Like, what is it? Like, how do we?
I call it genetic memory, because you gotta remember, all of your direct ancestors, you are a funnel.
Okay.
You the point to the funnel. Okay. All of them is feeding into the future through you.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta have all of their energy, which comes with their memories. Mm-hmm. And you projecting them to the future. Mm-hmm. Right? This is naturally in your DNA. The same as crip walking. Right. The same as bee walking. The same as moving stomping. The same as line dancing. The same as boots on the ground where your fans at. It's all the same. It's in your DNA, and at certain times you're gonna see certain things manifest again in order to stir you to awaken from the slumber, because you already been through it, you already know it all, you just don't remember right now because they exploited us with the blood magic that kept us in the Kingu continuation of the Ninnersin spell or the Sinner's Right spell.
Right. That brother even light skinned, like that brother even his features even resemble that dude, that Mayan dude. The color, the tone, everything. That's crazy. Ain't that crazy, bro?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, go ahead. What you say? You gonna say something about that one?
No, not about that one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this one, another one about hairstyle with the what you call it right here, the cowlick. What you call it, the galactical swirl.
Galactic swirl.
Yeah, these are Americans. The real Americans can wear their hairstyle like this.
Yeah, now you see how the other guy had more space between each ridge and his waves, and this little guy. That means that if he let his hair grow, this guy hair would be tighter curl or more kinky than the other guy hair. That picture right there, that lady behind him, that's not the same hairstyle. That's like what they call a bun or a bonnet. But it do look similar from the lines.
Yeah. Look at the waves.
Now this one right here, yeah, this is a priest right here in training. He could have had the waves.
Oh, it could have been a damn
I think it's a cap they used to wear that's similar to what that thing the
kufi.
Kufi.
Yeah. It would look like a kufi. It's my favorite hats. My favorite hats is the kufi. Yeah. I got all colors. All right, here's another one. That's how I know this us. That's how I know that we the real Americans. We the real ancient Egyptians. This us right here.
We the ancient everywhere on earth.
Yeah.
We are the ancient ones returning in a new era. Earth has went through changes.
Right.
We have to figure out how to get us to a better place from the place we at, and worry about that more so than trying to change where we at. To take the misery away, you have to change the systems. All of that stuff is hardwired into the systems.
Right.
The 9 areas of people activity. Anything else you want to go over in there, Adam?
Yeah, this right here, where it says that blonde hair says yes, blonde hair has significant less movement, Europe melanin than dark pigment than the black hair. So it's saying that it goes. This right here just going over that black hair is more melanin than blonde hair. All right, same thing right here where it says black blonde hair is weaker than black hair. But all of our sisters to go put the blonde hair. Now, like you said, Rod, we don't care like how you said it about people want to look good. But I'm just saying, it's a lot of things that prove that blonde hair is a curse. Even the Bible, even though a lot of people don't say, "Oh, the Bible's a comic." Rod said the Bible's a comic book to him, right? That was funny.
But I also said the Bible is got the astrology timetable in there. We got a lot of keys in there, but the way that they misused the Bible, I try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Yeah,
because you have to explain too many things about the book to get people to understand what its purpose was.
Yeah,
it's a lot of science in the Bible. It's one of the greatest books ever written, truthfully, but it's the fervor of delusion that come with the ones who know how to manipulate what it says to put you in your trance to keep you from thinking for yourself. But yeah, it's a comic book too.
that was funny when you said that last time, man. I almost fell out of my chair on that one, man. That comic book line you did.
It
Yeah,
is
but
because it's based on mythology. All of the comics is based on myths. The same myths, actually.
yeah, yeah. So like the last two scrolls was talking about blonde hair being having less melanin, being weaker. The Bible and Leviticus, the Old Testament, also backs that up when it says that it was a curse. That yellow, what says yellow thin hair right here in the so the yellow thin hair is blonde hair. If you go back and read that, follow people that's been at the speed, that's Leviticus 13 for my Bible guys. Now, Rod, these people with the six ether, are these the Dravitican looking people? The Dravitican
Those
connection?
were the original. So all of them don't have the same texture of hair.
Oh, yeah,
Some
that's
of
right.
them look like the old Jacksons, but her bloodline. This is one of the daughters. She's from one of the Inky bloodlines, from one of his wives from the Pleiades, and her skin was literally navy blue.
Yeah.
But when she mixed with Inky, he got some of them had the hair like the Jacksons in the 70s, and some of them had hair like this that they got from the mother side.
Yeah.
So you got two lines of Dravidians. The only
Yeah.
common denominator is they're all dark.
Yeah. Right. Here's more of a reference to what you were saying right here.
Mm-hmm.
See, she got more of like the 7 right here than a sitting, and she got more of a 6. Yeah. So he, like, I know some girls over here look like her too. Some little
Yeah,
girls.
she looked more Asian like the old Chinese and Koreans used to look,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Vietnamese.
Yeah. Yeah. The original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So these people right here, raw down in South America with the
Those are Melanasians.
okay. Okay.
Right. Remember I told you you had some of them with dark skin and blonde hair?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about right here.
And they still got the 8. Like I know they still got some of them got the 8 ether with the blonde.
He is a nine.
Yeah, like
They,
so
but they
his might
got
be,
nine. They do got nine ether. We had those same kind of people over here.
yeah. I know
That's
you
why I
were
was telling you about how the sun had bleached my hair when I went to Mississippi. It gets lighter in the sun.
yeah. It's the tyrosine in their brain also causes the hair to go and turn that color like this right here, but it's still like that's like a 9 right there. Look like
Mm-hmm.
9, at least an 8.5 for sure. All right, so this what I wanted to get around to because your tape was on the afros. Now here's he looked white though, Rod, but look at his hair though. You know what I'm saying?
How many drops of blood do it take?
Like he look like an albino though. Like what you think, Rod? Have one drop.
There's a lot of Europeans with this texture hair that if
Yeah,
you
what
put
you sound
in
like?
look, if you put in original Caucasian, they gonna have afros,
Uh-huh.
right? Those were the sons of Canaan.
Yep. Kind of not.
They was off the Albion line. If you go to African Presence in early Europe, edited by Ivan Van Sertima, um, it's a doctor, I forgot his name, but he wrote an essay on the Grimaldi, which is the description that the Canaanite by Malachi give for the Canaanite
Uh-huh.
origin. It's the same story,
Uh-huh.
right? But the essay in the African presence in early Asia is explaining to you scientifically what Malachi is using to show it to you in the religious texts. Because when he wrote the sons of Canaan, he was in Sarula.
Yeah. Right.
And when he wrote the Pale Man, he was in Sarula. The science is still the same science, but he's showing it to you Quranically and biblically, whereas the dude writing in the African presence in early Europe, He's giving it to you biochemically,
Okay.
right? Based on based on types of albinism, because one type you can tan, another type you can't,
Right.
right? And this is how they end up with hair like this. This is what the one drop of blood does to you too. It make you look like you ain't from the bloodline, but the hair tell the story because you can't hold that texture unless you got some of the blood.
That's right. Ain't no way. So these are real either the Canaanites or got that one that they mulattoes from that one drop of blue. Look at this dude hair right here.
Yeah. You got to know this. A lot of the people that's passing blow dry their hair till it's straight, and they have to blow dry it before it dry, or else it'll turn into this, and then they'll be exposed.
Wow.
So they have to hurry up after the shower and blow dry their hair so it don't freeze up. So a real pale face won't know they just passing.
Wow. That do make sense, bro. That makes sense. All right, we gotta.
But you could tell she a sister, but she's just as light as any pale face.
Yeah, she an Albino. Yeah, Albino sister.
But you see, she got dark eyes.
Yeah.
That's type the class 2 of albinism explained in the essay.
She's albino too. Albino. Yeah, he's a dude over in Africa, and then this little Uzi, he from over here. They look just alike. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back and do this. Is my last picture, but I'm gonna come back and do a video of people that look just alike people in Africa, like people in America that look like people in Africa. I already I got the tape already done already, and it's loaded up already. I'm just gonna do it again since nobody watched it.
So you gotta remember, just because they look like us don't mean they us.
I know it.
You know, because the imposter married into our families. Debauchery was people pretending to be God, messing people up in the laboratory trying to create slaves.
Yes, yes.
So the people that they created to be their slaves, we call them pale face now.
Hibernized people, yeah.
Right? Now, when they created them, they denied a sentient being ascension rights, which broke galactic law, which created galactic war on Earth. So while we've been fighting the war under the pretense of this government versus that government, it was never that. It was Enki versus Enlil and their children.
A violation of galactic of treaties and right, you weren't supposed to break those contracts or create hybridized children that had no ties to, what do you consider ties to, like a soul imprint, or ties to, they had no connection to being able to ascend out of here, because every being that's soul has the ability to ascend, as far as I know. A soul.
Right. Well, they was creating people that if they get too intelligent, they shut down part of their body and start making it. The Stephen Hawking syndrome is what I call it.
Yes, atrophying. They start to atrophy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because they can't cycle, because it's a debate. Dr. Francis Welsing goes over the defect in the cerebral spinal network of the pale face, right? And she's in a debate, and it was on PBS. But anybody want to know what I'm talking about, pull that up. But they had a blocked channel where they couldn't raise the sacred secretion, which caused their pineal glands to
shrink and
atrophy and calcify.
Yeah.
When
thus we hear the language all the time. They're obsessed with getting taking something for the pineal gland. Take this for the because, and they would make it seem like they put it on everybody as if everybody's pineal gland is atrophied. It would kind of like make it like a group thing when really it's just a specific group of beings that have that atrophied pineal gland, which limits their ability, they're capped with higher consciousness and the ability to ascend. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. You can't you can't ascend. You conscious, but when the ascension period come, you 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 stay back in the lower energy. You trap.
Mm-hmm. Hypermaterialism, root chakra behavior, bestiality,
Right.
necrophilia. Yeah.
So Inky wrote that one drop of Anunnaki blood, which is the same saying one drop of black blood,
Mm,
will correct the defect. But
that's emerging.
it needed time to saturate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Just because they got the blood, they have to also learn how to animate the blood through arts and entertainment. That's why we wasn't getting Grammys and Oscars. It wasn't for us. It was for the ones passing to assimilate their drop of blood and appear to be something that they wasn't. Paleface.
Well, I just made a video on that, Rod, talking about make sure there's no children on the show. We're getting left a little bit. I was talking about the initiation that happens with brown men being able to sleep with lunar women. And it started with Guess Who's Coming Home for Dinner with Sidney Poitier, which was the alarm clock going off saying, okay, it's time for you to start to intake some of that DNA. And also for women, just based on my genetic knowledge, is that every time we allow a man to inseminate inside of us or take it in orally, we take on partially his DNA. And if we give birth to his child, it's even more. And I was talking about how lunar women will take on some of the aspects and attributes of brown women once they start to have intercourse with brown men.
Well, that's only once that one drop of blood is being activated. Most of the people that we think are pale face is passing.
Oh, you're right.
About 90%, if they've been in America longer than 100 years, if they bloodline, they pass.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Rudolph for Germany,
Right.
the tall white alien
Now,
said that. Yeah.
before they was allowing brothers to touch the pale-faced woman, they gave the pale-faced man fornication rights by orders of King George. This is where you get your rapes on the so-called plantation.
Mm.
They was taking part of the booty issued by the king. Right? Go out there and spread your seed. And they was and gave them. They was letting them do the most perverse things because that's who came over here.
Well,
But
criminal.
they was given permission to do it. That's why for a long time they didn't even prosecute rape.
No.
Because it was legal.
Mm-hmm.
It was ordered by the king.
Mm.
It was the rebellion of the tribes that made them change the law.
Mm.
You gotta see when you see them Huns and those women Mongolians with the red handprint on their face.
Yeah.
That's the bloody hand of the black glove.
Mm.
Silencing the women when they was raping them. That's why they do that. That's not just a something to try to say it's your culture. That's it's telling you a story.
Mm.
It's a whole story behind that red hand over their mouth. And this is what was going on contemporary with the time, and it's heavy in the oral tradition. If you ask any one of them that weird can tell you exactly what it means.
Mm.
You got to remember the Boston Massacre. That's why they Red Sox. That's what the red carpet is. Everything I'm talking about in that post I just sent you too.
The trail of blood. Mm. Hold on, let me share it with everyone.
Yeah. And the first person to die in the Boston Massacre was the first blood of the righteous Crispus Attucks. That's why they got to always tell us he was first to die in the American Revolution. No matter what, no matter how they whitewash history, they gotta let us know he wasn't no paleface. Because you got to be able to identify the first blood of the sacrifice in order to break the oath, the conjure, the blood oath. The blood oath was made by spilling his blood by Scottish Rite Freemasons. So they wrote the secondary constitution in his blood. It's in the George Washington Masonic Memorial, but don't nobody know that the reason why it's fading brown is because that's blood.
What? Aired out, oxidized blood.
Yeah. Over time, as the blood fades, the spell weakens.
Wow. That's why they have to keep reinstituting new rituals and new blood rituals.
Right. That's called maintenance in the conjure.
Yeah.
Because it's for one magician by himself, he can't carry a conjure that long if he don't maintenance. It's only going to last a little while. That's why when it broke down in 1812, it started another war. We trying to stop war on the homeland. So the people we fighting, they bring personal homicide into our community and feed it to our children with like it's bravado. Now they got
savagery and art and occults ritualistically being invocated and projected and propagated.
Look, remember they started off with cowboys and Indians, right? Bang bang shoot 'em ups, Western movies. They went from Western movies to theatrical performance movies with a leading man that was macho, played mostly by homosexuals, like Rock Hudson. Played these dashing and dynamic, attractive men on the big screen, but all the time they was getting some dynamic and active penetration behind the scenes.
Absolutely, as of all the heartthrobs, allegedly,
Now watch how they play us now. And now while this is going on, we producing Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Huey Newton, Stokely Carmichael, Fannie Lou Hamer. The list goes on. Stand up people that's not taking it no more. Right? Then they go from there to bank robbery movies and shootout movies and gangster movies.
That's right.
Right? Them movies started dominating in the 60s. When the 70s roll around, it's inner city crime movies.
And drug movies.
Right. Now, in blaxploitation. Blaxploitation was a last-ditch effort to get some kind of codes to carry into the culture as it transformed into pop culture. Right? So, from the blaxploitation movie and the gangster movies, they started giving us cops as the hero movies. Then, when we go from blaxploitation to the hip hop era in the 80s. In the hip hop era, it was about family oriented shows, right? And knowledge is in the music. 90s roll around. There's no more those family oriented sitcoms now. They all about somebody's single parent. Or struggling housewife or something like that.
Or thoughtbotism.
Yeah, doctor shows. And then now you got the boys in the street in our hood now. We not dressing no more.
No.
We don't want to dress what they used to call fly no more. We got to get sweatsuits and all type of sweatsuits. We don't want to wear three-piece suits, tailor-made suits, gaiters, and Borsalinos and Dobbs. We not with that no more.
Wearing bomber jackets, remember bombers? Yeah,
all that's the new age, right? Now, fast forward another 20 years, and now look what we got. The music is trash. And the gangsters is running around in mini skirts with pistols.
I'm sorry.
We just watched it all unfold, reviewing history, and this is what we come up with.
Absolutely.
So the sisters is complaining they can't find a stand-up dude. The dudes complaining that they can't find a stand-up chick because everybody was taught to don't stand up.
Yeah.
But
and
they
little
was taught
tolerance.
it.
Remember, they have short span of concentration too. That doesn't help.
It was used with reverse psychology because every stand-up dude and every stand-up chick got cut down by the government.
Yeah.
And classified, labeled as a criminal.
Yeah.
Whether they was or whether they wasn't.
Or terrorists.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In America, the biggest terrorists in the world.
Oh, they're the kingpin of mafia Gestapos. Yeah. They still doing it now. They just, they're not really hiding themselves anymore, Rod. Do you notice that? They just being reckless, and because it's the end of, it's the end of a cycle. So they don't really have to hide their hands anymore. Basically, they showing most of their, other than the things that they plan in more psyops that I'm sure we're gonna see this week and next week. You know what I mean? But they're not really hiding too much.
We've seen quite a bit go on. I didn't know what to think at first, but Charlie Kirk was staged.
But that was total psyop. Yeah.
That was total psyop.
His wife is a thoughtbot, honeypot, thoughtbot, geoengineered and contracted by Willy Wonka and his League of Doom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got a pandemic coming out of Arizona that they just planned as well. We're coming out in a neighborhood near you soon.
Hey, look, Trump called all those generals in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, what's your take on that? I heard some things. So let me hear what you heard, because I'll tell you what I heard word on the curb.
Look, he was sitting there, he was like, such great generals, all central casting, great generals.
Like control.
He telling you that it's theatrical, it's political satire is what it's called.
It is.
And that's why if you look at Hollywood and DC, they're directly across from each other.
Mm.
This is why that one drop of blood that came up on that hill was significant, because now that's called total saturation from coast to coast.
Mm.
They spilled the blood in Boston and it finally reached LA.
And what you think about the federal government no longer giving funding to any of most of these tribes unless they reinstitute rights and privileges and of the brown, the original native, indigenous, Negro, black, whatever you call them. What say you, Rod, about all of a sudden the federal government taking
you gotta remember this, Flor. The only ones that the American government was taking care of is the ones that was willing to replace us.
Woo, I know that's right. And everybody else was on the Trail of Tears.
The ones who wasn't willing to replace us lived in poverty worse than ours.
That's right.
Worse than the projects.
Yeah.
And they constantly fed them alcohol. Because Mongolians don't do well with alcohol.
No, they have an allergy to it, which is mostly blood type B.
It's a brain enzyme in the brain that processes the alcohol out of the brain.
Yeah.
But it makes them more prone to become alcoholics.
Yeah. And the side effect is euphoria. So that's why they can't, it's harder for them to stop. Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
Sad. And they knew that. They knew that sensitivity when they were coming in. They knew what kind of weaponry they would use against those people, those particular people. Okay. Because bloodlines matter. You know people's weaknesses. You can institute them, whatever, add to the Achilles heel and atrophy the original, especially, and they killed a lot of the chiefs too. That's another thing. You disempower.
That's what most of the lynchings was. Most of them lynchings was the elders, the educated.
Yeah.
The ones who would speak out and stand up.
Mm-hmm.
They got us thinking they just randomly pick a nigga and lynch him.
Yeah.
That's not what they was doing. We had a lot of people that would pass our oral history and we get caught doing it, that was a death penalty. It's the same as teaching somebody how to read or write under the slave code.
That's right.
right? So they was trying to they want to use that as the terror mechanism where they was hanging us and lynching us and fricasseeing us and frying us. All that was to instill terror in our offspring.
Mm-hmm. It's in the cellular memory. That's why you can meet someone who's never had a dog their whole life, but they have a fear of dogs. I've seen it even in Brazil. Like people just have a natural intrinsic fear because in their past, their grandfather, grandmother were exposed to being ravaged or abused by that, and they carry it in the cellular memories. We carry a lot of information in our cellular on our cells.
Mm-hmm. I call it genetic memory because it's
Mm-hmm.
passed down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and that's what your DNA holds. It's like crystals.
Mm-hmm.
When most people don't know your DNA is amino acid crystals
Mm-hmm.
that's making up the helix.
It's like teleporting messages through time, space, and through incarnations,
Yeah.
or procreation, through your offspring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why by supplementing with a full amino acid complex helps generate the body, helps keep the
Yeah.
body in optimum performance shape.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're gonna add Dr. Rod to the roster. Dr. Rod. We're gonna have Dr. Rod time. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a that's an old one there. That's what I was known for my last 8 years of prison.
You have remedies. You were giving them some remedies.
All right. My screen.
That's Dr. Roll's video.
Nah, the videos. I think I only had 2 videos, and they were gonna be talking about them getting. Now I can ask you the questions. We got about 20 minutes. Well, we're gonna take questions from the crowd. Well, we'll take questions from the crowd. Drop your. I'm gonna ask the first question, but hey, the crowd, if you got any questions, based on what we did tonight, or any other questions, drop it in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Now, Rod, this is what I wanted to ask. Now, do you think we take as Nubians, knowing that our hair is antennas and being that who we are with hair, do you think we take our hair serious enough? Like some people don't give it that. Like me, I brush my hair, I put wave, I do the waves with the wave cap and everything. But a lot of people don't take care of their hair. Like if it's an antenna, if it's really an antenna and you ain't taking care of that joint, you can have bad signal. So what's your thought on that, bro?
Okay, remember in 80s, late 80s, especially going into the early 90s, you had all these exotic haircut styles that barbers would do. You had the high top fade, the Gumby left, Gumby right.
Yeah.
Right? All asymmetrical hairstyles for the women, geometry and hairstyling.
Yeah.
The reason all this is because your hair expression is derived from the energy you channeling in your natural human nature. Following the order of nature changes the hair to reflect the energy that you feel because it's a message given to the rest of the species, the other humans, right? So when you keep your hair in different styles, it tells the content of what you're feeling, what you're going through.
Right.
Right. Yours right now, judging by your haircut and your appearance, clean shave, right? You feel self-confident and ready to put yourself out for scrutiny. You feel confident enough to take in whatever come because you in your energy, you in your field. My hair, on the other hand, say whatever this sucker going through, he all over the place. Right now, why would a chief allow himself to be all over the place, and why did he need to express the energy of being all over the place to the general public? Now, if you drawn from multiple dimensions, different pieces of information, in order to bring it into the current realm, you all over the place, literally. So when the people see that and they see you can competently describe it, it makes them understand that being all over the place is not necessarily a bad thing. But to be aware of why you all over the place and what you're doing, right, expressed in appearance. Wise words being spoken, the gray beard, right? The knowledge is still intellectual, less gray hairs on the top, right? So now, because the words of wisdom can be spoken, thus says the beard. The intelligence that's been gathered can be disseminated to more people through the lenses of wisdom. So now you work in left brain, right brain in order to pass the message on subconsciously through the physical appearance. Right? And when you fold your arms as you intently listen, it's locking the energy, you bear hugging, meaning that you holding on to the code.
Hey, Rod, what you think about women or anybody and weave to, like you already said you on your perspective on like whatever people do is their own business, kind of move to that fact. But do you think like putting somebody else's hair with your hair would add a different energy? Like say if you got like a certain type of energy and then you get this person's hair that had a whole nother energy, you add it to your hair, would that add to your energy? Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But you see, if you don't know where the hair coming from and why they cutting their hair, then you have no knowledge of what energy coming in. And the only way you can use it to your advantage at that point is to be a natural born chaos magician.